and welcome back to another video with me, Shruti. You're watching Living Our Ascension. So today I'm at this place called Theodore J. Hoover Natural Preserve. It's south of San Francisco, quite a bit south actually, and it looks really nice here, so I thought I'd film here. And today's video is going to be a reading. So in my previous video I spoke about the various kingdoms of creation that are, and how they are making their presence more and more seated on the planet now. And because there's so many beings within creation and so many kinds of beings, and they all have they all offer us assistance. They all offer assistance on for the evolution of the earth. But the main way that they can do this is through human beings, those beings who are in a human body. And when we hold a certain energy and we create this, openness and this high vibrational energy, they can work through us as a portal. And I'm not talking about letting, other people use your body or something like that. But it's just the energy that we hold. It's like it creates this portal for a higher dimension to exist, within the third dimension. We carry that wherever we go. And then that becomes the space through which the higher dimensions can access and carry out their earth missions. So if you want to know more about that, you can watch that video that I've already made. It's called I think it's called the Return of the Kingdoms. It was an Ascension update that I made. And also I'm going to be making one more video that is going to be a meditation that you can do through which you can invite in that particular kingdom that you are working with. But this video, however, is going to be a reading of which kingdom you are working with. So if you need some assistance with that, or you'd like to receive a message about which kingdom wants to work with you at this time, and perhaps what they want to do, just a short message about that, and a short message about what that kingdom does within creation, what their purpose is, what their frequency is all about. So I'm just going to mention in brief in this video, because I'm speaking about several different kingdoms. But perhaps I'll be making more videos individually speaking about them. So stay subscribed to this channel if you would like to receive all of those videos and that kind of information. And the last thing that I want to say before I move to the messages is that I'll be doing another reading, which is about the various star beings. How there's different star lineages that we have, like the Pleiades, Lyra, Andromedan, and there's just so many different kinds. So it's not possible for me to address the various different kinds of kingdoms along with the star systems. So I'm doing a separate reading for the star systems. And perhaps I'll be doing it on my blog. I think that maybe instead of a video, I might make a post about it on my blog. So just find the link at the end of this video. You'll probably find a link below this video to that. And stay subscribed and check out my website also for all of this information. And now I'd like you to choose a number between 1 and 5. And once you've chosen that number, just skip to listen to the message for you, and I'll put the time slots again below this video so that you can just click on that and you get right exactly to the point where your message begins. So if you chose number 1, then you get the Mer Kingdom or the Cetacean Kingdom. So the Mer Kingdom, as you know, relates to the mermaids. And but for me, if you look at this card, it has this energy of the ocean. And to me, the highest energy of the ocean is about the dolphins and the whales, the cetacean energy. And the cetacean consciousness is a very, very high vibrational consciousness. They relate, I want to tell you, just 1 or 2 lines about them, and then I'll tell you what the message is. So the cetaceans, these beings are very actually high vibrational beings, and they work with the mind of God realms. So as for example, dolphins, they are, it's commonly known that they are very telepathic in nature. And they work through this group consciousness, like this hive mind. And it's like if one dolphin thinks of something, the others kind of know in a group what to follow. And that's how they work, through telepathy and through these higher forms of communication, which relates to the higher mind. And then they just move through that. It's like even their bodies are shaped so as to just flow with the least resistance in the water. And it's like they are the mind that is just flowing in water. It's like they receive a signal from the higher realms and then they just flow. So they relate to this higher flow, which is related to the mind of God realms, the more masculine side. So working with these beings, it means that it has to do with new timelines. This is what my guides showed me last year. I was receiving a lot from the dolphins and the whales. And even recently, they showed up. If you are on my Instagram and Facebook, you might have seen that post where I spoke about it. But these are really high vibrational beings, and when they're working with you, it means that new timelines are landing in your life. So they work with bridging timelines. So for example, there's one realm within creation, and then there's a higher one, and then a higher one. They know how to move seamlessly from one to the other. And as human beings, when we're integrating a high level of being within ourselves, then a new timeline lands for us, and things significantly change in our lives. And with the cetacean energy being around, it means that this will happen quite seamlessly for you if you allow it to. And it might even be something that you look back and just a week or a month ago you look at your life and it was quite different, and you suddenly realize, wow, I'm in a completely new space, I'm making new decisions, and it might be new life directions that are very expansive. So this vibration is very, very expansive. That's one word that you can use for it. And you'll be making choices in your life that are expansive, as well. And you might be called to do that. So take note of what those choices are, that give you a feeling of expansion, of just this higher vibrational energy, and like you are just activating a new level of being, a new timeline within your life. And there might be remnants of your old life, your past, growing up, or anything that you have been through, and things that you were identifying with before. And now it's time for you to leave them behind. It's not, we will not be identifying with that as much anymore. In fact, the different parts of you will be blending into into the whole. And so this new you is the complete version that is like a amalgamation of, everything that has happened before. So you might find how that's happening in your life. It doesn't mean that the things that happened in the past are negative. It can be something very positive as well, but something that we really identified with. So it's the identification that makes us stagnate, because things serve us, even good things, they serve us for a while, and then we have to let them go, because that's when they become stagnant, if we are just identifying with something for too long. So that's the message that's coming for you now that you're going through all of this. And let me just read, in case I missed anything. Your guides are the whales and dolphins. Your card is make a decision. You are leaving behind parts of yourself that you have known before in past years. It's time for a new you that is born of the integration of all those. And a completely new timeline is birthing. Have the courage to act upon the sudden changes you are being guided to, because of which you will hold this energy and potential in your field as well. Let the cetaceans assist you in seamlessly blending two very seemingly disparate and different ideas and realities into one potential just for you. Anything is possible on the new earth. So this is another point, that expansive timelines, we often think that something so wonderful cannot be experienced on the planet. How will it be practical and things like that. But when you get such high vibrational beings helping you, that means that it is possible. Anything is possible to be created on the new earth. And we have to first fully open ourselves to it, fully receive this guidance of what that new expansion is, and then just flow with it. Imagine yourself to be like a dolphin or a whale, just swimming through the ocean and bridging, doing the grid work, because that's what they do. They connect one grid to the other, bringing this higher vibrational energy on the planet. If you imagine like a network, inside the ocean. So you are somehow doing the same, however you might relate to this. And allow for that to happen in your life, and then know that you're holding that energy and potential for others as well within your electromagnetic field. So if you chose number 2, then you get the tree kingdom. And the trees are really wonderful beings. If you look at them, they are the lungs of the planet. That it's often used as a stereotype, but it's true. They're growing out from the ground, and they convert prana, life force, into oxygen for us. Something that we can breathe, something that we can take in, just like food, something that we desperately need for our sustenance. And they are here just to fulfill that purpose for us. And not only that, they provide us with so many other different things, with shade, with different kinds of fruits and medicine. But they are very much associated with wisdom as well, with deep ancient wisdom of the earth. The trees are, they are kind of like symbols of the tree of life. And the tree of life is this roadway that is inside of ourselves, that exists, where we can become one with the different aspects of ourselves, relating from the human body to the fourth dimensional level, the emotional body, mental body, the soul level, the higher levels, the spirit levels. So we become one through our tree of life. And the trees basically symbolize this, kind of like they have their branches going up, and then bringing that information, that light, into the ground, into something that can be used in the physical. So it's related to grounding light. That light can be something that we have this higher information that is very light based, but then how can we apply it in a way that is physical, that is practical, that serves us as in the physical body, in a practical way. So the trees have wisdom like this, and this kind of wisdom might be coming to you now since you got the trees. So watch out for grounded wisdom that is coming to you, from the trees. Spend time under the trees, because they'll be bringing you wisdom for sure. But the funny thing is that the card that you got, because I used a tree deck, which has so many different kinds of trees, but the one that you got is cherry, and we associate that more with the flower usually when you think of cherries, the cherry blossom. So the message for you is about sexual energy, because cherry blossoms, they come in, we associate them with the spring, and the springtime is when everything is birthing. There's this life force that's in the air, that's just thriving. It's this time when a lot of animals mate as well. That's really heightened, that kind of energy. So the message for you and what you're going through right now is coming into a new sensuality within yourself, a new beauty. And so the trees will be bringing you wisdom of the feminine. So the wisdom of the feminine is very important for you right now. That's the key thing. And the feminine is about the subtle aspects of life. So your guidance is to allow for the importance of the subtle to come through in your life, and not force things. Try and do things more slowly. Whatever you've been doing, whatever you do every day, do them with a more meaning, taking your time with it, kind of like relishing it, allowing yourself to experience what is there, because sometimes we can just go through our daily routine, and we're not even living life. We're not experiencing, we're just kind of doing actions, just to complete things and go through the day. But your guidance is to take more time. There is, time does not exist. It's actually when we land a certain level of being in our body, we realize that there is no time, and you can expand time, you can play with it the way that you want, and see, try and do this, and you'll see that it works out, if you really want to do it and you really believe in it and you try it. And that time is like an elastic band, it's flexible. So there isn't as little time as you might think. So play with that idea, try and do things in even if you, let's say you have to go to work and you have things to do what's simple. Let go of anything that's excessive, that you are just doing to please others, or for out of habit, or you just don't even know why you're doing it. So make things more simple in your life and do them with more meaning, do them slowly, and relish them, really experience them, experience your life, experience the juiciness that is life. And also, you will be able to do this more in a more deeper way if you spend time in nature as well. And because nature has this immense life force, like I'm standing here, and it's just like what you're breathing, it just fills you up, and it's more than just fresh air. It has to do with consciousness and this life force, this prana energy that's just so fresh and thriving, and it reminds us of the life force that we are and fills us up with it. So make time for that as well, because that'll be when you are out in nature, you will be reinforced into this life force that you are, but also enjoy the beauty that is, because again, the cherry blossom is related to beauty. It's so beautiful, and it relates to the feminine, and the feminine is associated with beauty. So enjoy the beauty that is your physical body as well as nature, and they're both connected. When we enjoy one, we enjoy the other. So the body vessel is a beautiful thing. And of course, we all have flaws, what we call flaws, but there is beauty in that, and allow for this nurturing, nourishing in all ways. And so, for example, if you're exercising, exercise is good for the body, but do exercises in a way that, again, have meaning. That's not just, about making use of, sometimes we think that we need to be efficient, and then we'll just do a lot of actions, a lot of rigorous actions. So your guidance is to take it slow a little bit. You can choose some simple actions that are more effective. Like often, instead of doing more actions, doing more repetitions, if you just fully breathe and you do a simple, even one thing, a couple of repetitions, they will carry out what needs to be done in a more efficient way, because they're taking the breath to the right places, and the breath is what connects everything. The breath is what makes everything flow efficiently, whether it's just this prana in our body from those higher subtle levels to the blood that runs through our body, which becomes more physical, but it begins at a higher level. So when you are spending time in nature and just allowing for this more subtle things in your life, you make way for the feminine to work through you and to really experience the juiciness that is your life, that is beauty around you, that is your beautiful body as well. And then when you hold this within your own body, you hold it within this energy within your field, other people will be able to feel this feminine beauty, a beautiful goddess that is flowing through you. And it's not just for females, for men as well. We are all an embodiment of the goddess, the feminine. We are an expression of the feminine that is birthed from the masculine. So what this will do also is it'll activate new freedom of being in a physical body, because when we enjoy that sensual nature, then we feel free. It's like, all of the frequency of shame and doing things in a hurry, all of that is let go of, and there's this beautiful freedom that is experienced. And that is what makes us magnetic and more sexual as well, because this message is also about sexual energy being activated for you. So that is a beautiful message for you, and hold this beautiful, divine feminine energy in your field, and invite others in that way as well. And that is how, the tree beings are working through you, bringing this earthy sensuality and activating others as well through it. If you chose number 3, then you get the fairy kingdom. And fairies are beings that work with the essence of flowers and plants. And what they do is they work at at a higher level, at the 4th dimensional, 5th dimensional, higher levels. And they work with weaving light into physical manifestation. And when light is woven into physical manifestation, one of the expressions that it becomes is a flower. So the different colors that the flowers have, the different properties that they have that are healing, we use them as medicine, we even eat them. There's so many different uses, and not only just for this, but even just to look at them, their physical beauty. It reminds us of our heart space and our nature of purity, and just receiving, this openness that the flowers have, and this feminine nature of beauty. So all of those things are what they weave into the flower. This is what their purpose is, this is what they're doing, and they're bringing us this beautiful healing properties as well. So the card that you get is Lily, and it says time of new birth. So before I go on to the message that this card is bringing through, I want to say that if there's if at this time, in this week or in the coming weeks, if you see lilies around, or in fact any other flowers, then they definitely have a message for you at this time. So pay attention to that. You can always Google the different properties of the different flowers that you might see, or even plants. And now the message that I feel coming through the fairy kingdom for you is that that there's a new level of purity and joy that is landing in your life. So and purity doesn't always come about in a way that is very easy, but what it is giving birth to is this childlike nature that you may have forgotten, and it's just being revived or coming up in a new way in your life. And the soul level, the level is the level of purity. It's the 7th dimensional level, and it relates to the vibration of purity. And there's just this joy, because that's what when we are birthed as a soul, in creation, when we are first created, we are just like a child, that is just knows only joy and is just so completely pure. Like when you think of a baby, how human babies are born, when we were first born, we've had many lives. Let's say you've been in a human body for many lives, or have had other kinds of lives, but imagine the very first time that you were born, from source. That is the vibration of purity, complete purity. And so this joy is coming back into your life in some way. So embrace it, in the different ways that it's showing up. Sometimes what happens is that things in our life don't work out the way that we want, and when we finally let go of that, when we finally accept that, then different avenues open up, that are actually more joyful than we would have thought. Or let's say it's just an extreme example. I'm not saying this is going to happen to you, but let's say we lose a job and we have more time on our hands now, then we find ourselves doing things that we didn't find time for before, that we thought that we didn't have time for. And this stuff like this happens because inside of ourselves, all day we're thinking, no, I'm not happy, or I want more joy, I want more creativity in my life, and we're not making space for it. And then it happens in external ways like this, something happens to take it away. But that's just an extreme example. Obviously everybody's not going to go through anything like that. But there's avenues for joy that are opening up in your life. So really embrace that, and that's what the fairies are bringing to you as well, reminding you of this childlike, playful nature. And especially with creative projects, new creative projects might be coming up in your life, new creativity of some kind, and that's always really exciting. So when you allow for this energy to be in your life, you bring it into your field. Suddenly there's this new yellow and white energy of joy and purity that's just there in your field, in your energy field. And when you allow for that to happen, then the fairies can work through this beautiful resonance that you have created around you, that can be really expansive and large, and every person who walks through it also is attuned to that if they want to be. Usually the people who are attracted to a certain energy, like who want a certain energy, who desire it at a soul level, will come to it, will cross paths with it. So that is something that you are doing and how you're contributing, and let the fairies help you, bring you different messages that you can convey to other people as well, perhaps, how you will be helping other people in this way. And more than anything, it's just the vibration that you hold. When you allow it, you hold this vibration for others as well, and they can feel it, and when they are in it, they can attune themselves to some degree, to whatever degree they're open to it. So this is how you will be helping the fairies to do their earth mission on this planet, and just be open to their messages as well. And like I said, you might see some shapes. When you go out into nature, you might see some shapes that look like the tree people, or look like fairy beings, the little people, and there'll be some messages for you there for sure. So watch out for that in the coming weeks as well. So if you chose number 4, then you get the Elven Kingdom. And with the Elven Kingdom, the card that you get is the Tree of Life. And the Tree of Life is a very important symbol. It's a very high vibrational energy. And But first I want to explain what the elves are. So the elves are basically these creator gods. They are the first children of God, like the first beings that were created. And so naturally their task became to then create more forms of life. And this doesn't mean that they're any better or worse than any other kind of being. It's not like that. It's just, different beings have different roles within creation. And the elves are about, this creation of the different forms of life. And so getting the Tree of Life card, is very it really matches the Elven Kingdom as well, because like I said, this is a really high vibrational energy, and the Tree of Life is related to when we become completely one with our, not just the soul level, but it's all of our levels, all of our high dimensional levels beyond the soul, all of our spirit levels, and it includes like the mind of God realms. So when we fully come into our Tree of Life, we are one with all of our multidimensional aspects. And getting this card today is saying something about yourself, and that is that you have it's saying that you have moved up in your vibration recently, and you may or may not have realized this, but this is like a confirmation that's coming to you. And it means that you've moved a step higher in integrating your Tree of Life. So it doesn't mean necessarily that we've integrated the whole Tree of Life. That's a very high vibrational level of being. That's when we become fully realized. That's Christ consciousness. But what it means is that you have moved a step higher in integrating your Tree of Life. It's saying that there's a lot of higher wisdom and power moving through you now, including clues about how things are born within creation. So there might be some specific wisdom that's coming to you, that's being revealed just to you, about something related to the creation principles and how things are created within the universe. So you are helping the elven realms to bring this wisdom on the planet at this time. So work with channeling, with receiving unique insights revealed to you, and bring them through in a humble manner into the world. Each time that you do so, the elves complete a part of their earth assistance through you. So when you integrate this within yourself and you realize, that this is happening within you, your vibration changes, and you're able to better hold the new vibration that you have manifested, the new level of being within yourself. And when you hold that energy, then the elves can work through you in a more in an easier flowing way, and you'll receive messages easily, and you'll also be able to hold that vibration because you have become aware. So this vibration can then move through you. So there might be some clues coming to you now, some guidance, assistance through synchronicities and other messages, repeating messages this week and in the coming time. And so listen to those and work with the elves, and let me know how it goes in the comments below. So if you chose number 5, then you get the Animal Kingdom, and the card that you get is Swan. And as you know, swans are the symbol of grace. And if you look at the card image, it has a black swan and a white swan. And another thing that this symbolizes is the beloved energy, the balance of the masculine and feminine. So, and if you think about it, grace is related to balance. When we are balanced, that's when we are most graceful. So this balance is very important for you now in your life. And how the swan and the Animal Kingdom is bringing you this message of being balanced, especially within your relationships. And how you can do that now is through balancing the masculine and feminine, and I'll explain what they are. So the feminine is about inviting, in others within this unconditional love, and just holding space for others. Like when we are listening to a friend and, just listening to the problems that they have, for example, or we are just holding space for them and, not judging them. And without judgment, when we are able to listen to them, just receive, this is the feminine. And it's really beautiful. But when done, excessively, this can become unbalanced, because we need to have an equal level of masculine within us. And the masculine is about discernment. It's about having good boundaries. It's about choosing. The masculine is about serving something higher. So it knows that, that first and foremost, it needs to serve whatever is most needed in the moment, whatever it's internally guided to, from that inner fire within. And it's able to discern what is right and wrong for the moment. And it doesn't let other people so again, a person who is balanced within their masculine and feminine would be someone who is able to receive others unconditionally and has space and time for them. However, only to the degree that they are allowing themselves first. So if you are trying to overly help someone and you're always the one giving, this is not balance. You can, for example, if you have somebody like that in your life who just uses up too much of your energy, space, and there isn't an equal give and take with them, then you can speak to them and tell them that that if you really want to talk about this, like let's say it's someone who comes up with the same problem every single time, they come and discuss it to death with you, and you feel depleted at the end of it, but then they go back to the same thing, and the same thing keeps repeating in their life, and they come and keep using you for it. So then in that case, you can speak to them about this and tell them that you're always here for them, but only if it's something that they are willing to do within themselves, and you just communicate that clearly to them, that the only one who can help them is themselves, and you are there holding space for them, allowing for that transformation to happen if need be. But you need to see that they are actually open to that transformation first, and this is a choice that you need to make. We always need to first be in balance within ourselves, and only then we can be of service to anyone else and be of any use, really. So this balance is really important for you right now. Check which aspect in your life you are not doing, whether it's the feminine, holding space for others unconditionally without judgment. Are you not doing this enough? Or are you not being discerning enough, and you're just allowing people to run all over you, basically? So the balance of this is needed, and you're coming into this new level of balance. Perhaps you are realizing where it's needed in your life now, and that is leading to a new sense of grace within yourself, within your body, and this balance that we live in. And once we live in this state of grace, it brings in just this ease of being. We are not, it's a feeling of the heart returning to you, your own heart, and your own decisions, everything coming back to you, instead of placing it somewhere in the external, because as long as we are not in a state of grace and ease, then there's this discomfort, this feeling that, if I meet this person, it'll ruin my day, or and you're placing it somewhere outside of yourself, whereas that decision is always within you, that choice is always within you. You should always feel easy no matter who is around you and what's happening, because when you have a good sense of boundaries, no matter who is around you, you can still be you. You are making that choice to first serve what is needed, what is right, and to always stand within what's right. So this message is really important for you right now, and when you hold this balance within yourself, this state of grace, you will hold it for others as well, because it'll be in your field, you'll be vibrating with it, and then others who also cross your field or who interact with you will have this energy, will become available to them to the degree that they are open. So this is the message that the animal kingdom is bringing to you now. Watch out for any other animals as well that are around you in the coming weeks, because they will have messages to bring, and they'll be showing you how you can serve, what essence they represent. Look at that on the internet. You can just look up animal totems. So for example, swan, animal totem, and look at the meaning of it, and those will be the qualities that you are serving, and helping the animal kingdom to bring through on this planet as well. And yeah, that's the message for you. I hope that you enjoyed it.